Hi folks, I wanted to have a quick chat about my change to Fuji 1 year after switching. So I've been with Nikon since I was about 13 years old. I've still got my f3 that I got in the 80s, still got it to this day, and I really like Nikon, but there were certain things that this has the advantage for me over Nikon. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that in between I first tried the Sony system. It wasn't for me. I don't like the menu system. I didn't like the way they felt. Image quality was brilliant. It wasn't the belt mount. It didn't work for me. I wanted this traditional photographer's camera. And this does feel like a professional camera. It is. Many professionals have switched, and Fuji has got it right, really. They really have, because they came out with these, which so many professionals have switched to, even wedding photographers, and then they've come out with the GFX, which is a medium format, which whips everything, for those who need that, which I don't. Now, for me, it wasn't just about the size, although that does make a difference. This lens, my favourite lens of all, is nearly always on here, and this is the Samyang 12mm f2. I absolutely love it. I love the way that it renders perspective. I like the image quality. I like the fact that it's an f2 and it's fast. The weight and size is absolutely perfect for this camera. Cannot fault it. And you know, you would have to pay maybe 4 times the price to buy the Zeiss equivalent, and you would get a negligible difference, and you would not notice that difference, and yes, unless you were to pixel peep and look under the microscope in certain situations. Not worth it for me. This is absolutely beautiful. So most of the time I have this. I have the 1855 if I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't want the 16 to 55 f2.8 because that would just be too big, defeats the object. I am more of a prime shooter, and as I've stated before in my lens buying strategy videos, it's always wise to buy lenses in focal lengths that double, because if you buy in between, the difference often, or all too often, is not enough to justify changing the lens. So you end up with useless lenses, and you can easily end up carting around those lenses. Whereas with this, I would pair this with the 23 and the 56. That's my prime lenses. That's everything. Got the 23, I'll get the 56 at some point, and then I have everything I need in terms of prime lenses, although I will opt for the fisheye Samyang as well, just for fun. But realistically, in terms of weight and size, that's one thing that I like about it. But there is another advantage that has made my photography so much more enjoyable, and that is, on the Nikon, I would always shoot raw. So if I go walkabout and I end up taking 200-300 images, sometimes 400, every one I've got to run it through Lightroom, and I have got to edit every one, because raw, they don't look very nice. If it's for something specific, if it's for commissioned work, for a specific photo that you want to create, a wedding, fine. But for general photography, do I want every walkabout to have to mean several hours working in Photoshop or Lightroom? I was getting a bit fed up with it. But with Nikon, you don't really have many options, because you can go from RAW to JPEG, fine. Okay, it's still pretty good, but it's a sort of a happy medium. You've got a soft, and then you've got your monochrome, and that's about it. Whereas on Fuji, you have the amazing Fujifilm effects. So 1 minute I can be shooting with a Velvia film effect, which is amazing, and the next minute I can switch to Provia or Astia, and I can get exactly the effect I want straight from my camera, and I can just literally send them to my phone, my tablet, wherever, and the next minute they're being uploaded wherever I wish to show them off. That has made my photography enjoyable, and I actually enjoy making the choices when I'm out in the field with the camera, because I can look at a scene and think, oh, which film effect would suit that? Or I could try the different film effects and I can see totally different results from the same camera in the same place. For me, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm enjoying being able to spend more time shooting photos and less time editing, because it just got too much when it's not necessary. So for me, that, along with the size and weight and this lens, means that my Nikons have been redundant really since I've had this. I will still keep a few bodies simply because I'm a lifelong Nikon fan, but I won't be investing any more in Nikon. I have got rid of a couple of my more expensive lenses and just spent it on these which I'm using. I've enjoyed trying the different lenses on these with the courtesy of the adapter. My old Minolta 58 1.4 is an amazing lens. I bought a couple of 7 artisan lenses, the 23mm f1.8 and the 35 f1.2. The 35 f1.2 is actually really interesting. Doesn't compare with a high quality lens in terms of ultimate sharpness, not wide open anyway, but it still has a lovely character to it. So in certain situations it's a very enjoyable lens to use, but realistically the lens lineup that I mentioned are more than enough. And this, along with the X-T2, and I've still got the X-T10 as well, I absolutely love them. Most of the time I still use the X-T1. 16 megapixels is more than enough, because I don't really print hardly anything, just the odd thing here or there. And certainly anything that I'm going to print is not really going to need even 16 megapixels, let alone 24, so I'm not really fussed about that. Obviously if you're doing something that requires that, that's another matter. I think the whole point is to be buying what you need and what you will use, rather than what you would just like to own, because in photography that can go on forever. You spend a couple of hours watching YouTube videos and you think you need this camera and you need to upgrade that and you need to upgrade this. It's quite interesting to go and get an old camera and a basic lens. I've done that. I've plonked an old 50mm 1.8 on my old Nikon D70S and gone out shooting, and I thought, well actually, you know, I like these photos and they're 6 megapixels. It's not that long ago that people were shooting weddings with 6 to 8 megapixels. So it doesn't mean that just because megapixels have increased that those cameras are no good. It's just that cameras can do more and more and more, but do you need what they do? For me, the biggest advancement is the film effects. That is fantastic. Being able to see what I'm doing live, I think it's amazing. So I absolutely love this. And being old school, my first camera was Zenith E, then a Nikon FM. I wanted this. I wanted total manual control, and that's exactly what Fuji gave us in a professional body that really doesn't weigh much. It's solidly built and the quality is second to none. They're my thoughts. Please feel free to express your opinion in the comments. Thank you. Goodbye.